The investor once said most people would be better off if they never looked at their portfolio. Ever. And he learned that from a book written in 1949. That book is The Intelligent Investor by the analyst. Buffett calls it the single best book on investing ever written. And here's the part that gets me. He read it when he was 19, and it completely rewired how he thinks about money for the rest of his life. I read it too, and honestly, it changed how I look at every dollar I own. This isn't a book about timing the market or finding the next hot stock. It doesn't have a get-rich-quick formula. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. It's about building a mental framework that protects you from yourself, because most of the time, you're your own worst enemy when it comes to money. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 most powerful lessons from this book, the exact principles that turned the investor into the investor, and the same ones that can save you from years of dumb mistakes. Let's start with the big one. Imagine this. You own a small pizza place in your neighborhood. Nothing fancy, but it's yours, and it makes steady money every month. Regulars come in. The delivery drivers know every street. It's a good business. Now imagine a guy, let's call him Mr. Market, shows up at your door every single morning with a different offer to buy your pizza place. Monday morning, he's hyped. Pizza's the next big thing. I'll give you $2 million. Tuesday, he drags himself in looking like he just watched a horror movie. Pizza is dead, man. I'll give you $40,000, take it or leave it. Wednesday, he's back. I was wrong. $800,000. Deal? Would you take this guy seriously? Of course not. You'd tell him to come back when he's had a coffee. But here's the insane part. When the same thing happens in the stock market, people treat Mr. Market like he's a financial genius. Stocks go up, everyone's a genius. Stocks crash, everyone's crying, selling everything, acting like the world is ending. Why? Because the stock market looks official. It's on big screens. It's on CNBC. It feels serious. But the analyst's point is dead simple. Mr. Market is just a moody guy with an opinion. His moods don't change the actual value of your business. The pizza place is still making the same pizza, regardless of whether Mr. Market is happy or having a meltdown. So what do? You use his mood swings. When he's terrified and offering you pennies, that's when you buy. When he's euphoric and offering you triple what it's worth, that's maybe when you sell. Or at least when you sit on your hands and do nothing. During the 2020 crash, Microsoft and Amazon didn't suddenly become bad companies. Mr. Market just lost his mind for a few weeks. People who understood this didn't panic. They saw the sale. The analyst said it best. The market is there to serve you, not to instruct you. Your job isn't to predict what happens next week. Your job is to know what you own and act only when it makes sense. Okay? Rule number 2, and this one's going to rub some people the wrong way. Most of you are not investing. You're speculating. And there's a huge difference. Investing is simple. It means 3 things. You do your homework, you protect your money, and you expect a reasonable return. Not 10 times in a month, reasonable. Like 7 to 10% per year over the long haul. Boring. But boring wins. Speculating is the opposite. It's buying something not because you understand its value, but because you think someone else will pay more for it later. That's the greater fool theory. And it's how most people lose money. Think of it this way. Investing is like buying a house you actually plan to live in. You check the school district. You check the foundation. You check the plumbing. You plan to be there for years. Speculating is buying the same house because your Uber driver told you real estate is going to the moon. You have no idea what it's worth. You just hope somebody stupider shows up next week. The dot-com bubble is the perfect example. In the late 90s, people were throwing money at any company with .com in its name. Didn't matter if they had revenue. Didn't matter if they sold anything. Prices went up purely on hype. And then, everything crashed. Because nobody was investing. They were all gambling. The analyst's rule is simple. Treat a stock like owning a real piece of a real business, because that's literally what it is. You're not buying a lottery ticket. You're buying a fraction of a company with employees, products, expenses, good months and bad months. And if you wouldn't buy the whole business, why would you buy a tiny piece of it? This doesn't mean zero risk. But when you take risk, you better know exactly what you're betting on, what it's worth, and what happens if you're wrong. Investing is boring, but boring builds wealth. Speculation just builds screenshots you show your friends right before everything falls apart. Rule number 3 is probably the most underrated concept in all of finance, and it's called margin of safety. Here's the big idea. Never pay full price for anything, especially stocks. No matter how smart you are, no matter how much research you do, things go wrong. The economy flips. A competitor shows up. The market panics for no reason. You need a cushion. Think about a bridge. If trucks crossing the bridge weigh 10,000 pounds, do you build a bridge that can handle exactly 10,000? Of course not. You build it to handle 30,000. That extra strength is your safety margin. Same with stocks. Let's say you figure out a company is worth $50 per share. Do you buy at $50? No, not even at $45. You wait until it's at $30 or less. That gap protects you when things don't go according to plan. And this is exactly what the investor did during the 2008 financial crisis. While everyone else was panic selling, he was buying. Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson. Solid companies trading way below what they were worth. Why? Because there was a huge margin of safety. He wasn't guessing. He was buying value on sale. But here's where people get tripped up. They say, what if I love Apple and the stock just keeps going up? Should I buy? Great question. The answer is no. A great business at the wrong price is still a bad deal. If it's too expensive, you don't chase. You wait. You put it on your watch list, follow the business, and wait for Mr. Market to have one of his episodes. He will. Buffett said it perfectly. The stock market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. Your edge isn't just knowing what to buy. It's knowing when to buy, at a price that gives you room to be wrong. Rule 4 is one of those ideas that looks obvious, but almost nobody follows. The analyst said there are exactly 2 types of investors. You're either defensive or enterprising. There's no middle ground, and trying to be both is how people get wrecked. Here's what those mean. A defensive investor is someone who doesn't want to spend a lot of time on money. They want a simple, reliable system that works without babysitting. Index funds, dollar cost averaging, rebalance once a year. Done. Think of it like going to the gym just to stay healthy. Jog a little, lift some light weights, feel good, go home. You're not trying to compete. You just want results without the obsession. An enterprising investor is different. They love digging into financial statements. They hunt for undervalued stocks. They treat investing like a part-time job. That's what Young the investor did. And it worked, but it's real work. Here's the thing. The analyst was super clear about. Most people think they're enterprising when they're actually just undisciplined. They buy a few index funds, then chase a hot tip. They have a plan, then panic during a dip. That middle ground is where you get killed. Pick a lane. If you don't have the time or interest to research properly, be defensive. Buy the S&P 500 every month. Never stop. Don't watch the news. Don't check prices. Let compounding do its thing for 20 years. If you're obsessed and disciplined, go enterprising. But understand what you're signing up for. It takes hours of work to find one good idea. There is no option 3. The middle is a trap. And finally, rule 5. This is the one that connects everything. Your emotions are your biggest enemy. The analyst said the difference between successful investors and broke ones isn't intelligence. It's emotional discipline. He was right. Everybody's seen this. The market drops 3% and suddenly the news is screaming crash. People start panic selling. My stocks are down. Yeah, they were up 35% last year. Calm down. Or the opposite. Some random stock doubles overnight. Everyone on Twitter is posting screenshots. FOMO kicks in. You start thinking, maybe I should throw some money in too. Markets crash, rebound, and crash again. 1999, 2008, 2020. Every time, some people panic and sell everything. Some people stay calm, keep buying great businesses, ignore the noise. Guess who comes out richer every single time? The truth is, markets go up and down for reasons that often make no sense at all. Your job isn't to control the market. Your job is to control yourself. How? Have a system, dollar cost average, rebalance. Stick to your plan. When you have rules, you don't need to make emotional decisions. A pilot flying through turbulence doesn't yank the controls because he's scared. He follows his instruments. He trusts the system. Same with investing. If you don't have a system, the market will make decisions for you, and they won't be good ones. All right, let's tie all this together in a way that actually helps you. Think of these 5 rules like pieces of a puzzle. They work together. 1. Treat stocks like businesses, not lottery tickets. Before you buy anything, ask yourself, would I be happy owning this for 10 years even if the price didn't move? If not, skip it. 2. Protect yourself with margin of safety. Don't chase hot stocks. Be patient. Wait for the price that gives you a cushion. 3. When Mr. Market throws a tantrum, don't join the drama. Let everyone else panic. You stay calm. Sometimes the best move is doing nothing. 4. Pick a side. Index funds for life or deep research for the obsessed. Don't float in the middle. 5. Master your emotions. This is the glue. Without discipline, none of the other rules matter. This book is a monster and we barely scratched the surface. If you want me to dive deeper into the specific methods the analyst taught, the formulas, the screening tools, leave a comment. Let me know. And if this helped, hit like so more people can see it. My name is Lee, and I'll see you in the next video.